Sony is back with another PlayStation State of Play on June 2nd, 2026 at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. BST. So get ready for a whole host of new PS5 game announcements, fresh looks at gameplay, and maybe even some other surprises. With only Marvel's Wolverine currently listed as being part of the hour-plus-long presentation set to share updates, announcements, and gameplay reveals from top studios around the world, there is a lot to theorize about. For context, last year's equivalent stream saw the reveals of Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, Nioh 3, and Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles, as well as fresh gameplay looks at 007 First Light, Silent Hill F, Ghost of Yotei, and Pragmata. But what can we expect to see this year? Well, let's look at exactly that. As I said, we know Marvel's Wolverine will be making an appearance and, indeed, kicking off the show ahead of its September 15th release. Detailed as, quote, showing off Logan's brutal and relentless combat. It seems like we'll be getting a good look at gameplay and how controlling Wolverine will differ from Insomniac's Spider-Man, presumably with a whole lot more blood involved.
Because I ain't no hero. I'm Wolverine.
God of War is a series that's no stranger to a State of Play appearance. Back in February, we saw not one but two announcements made by Sony Santa Monica, including a full remake of the original Kratos trilogy,
Zeus! Your son has returned.
and the shadow drop of 2D side-scroller God of War Sons of Sparta. Seeing as we only got a logo for the remakes a few months back, it might be fair to assume that those games are a fair while away, so getting a further glimpse may be a stretch. But could we see something of Santa Monica's other long-rumored project? The developer is reportedly working on a spin-off focused on Kratos' wife, Faye. Could this make a giant-sized impact on June 2nd? Then there's supposedly a brand new IP in the works at the studio being helmed by God of War 2018 director Cory Barlog. Who knows, maybe we'll even see that. They certainly seem busy over there.
There's much to do.
Is it finally time for Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet to re-emerge? It's been almost 18 months since the reveal of Naughty Dog's latest, with that one trailer still our only glimpse of it. Some gameplay would be lovely, and if we're dreaming, some sort of release date window would be very much appreciated too. Creator Neil Druckmann has called it the most ambitious game the Uncharted and Last of Us studio has ever made. It's time to see what makes it that. Housemarque did just recently give us Saros, but that doesn't necessarily mean we won't be seeing it here. After all, the studio's previous game, Returnal, gave us a fair amount of post-launch additions, including co-op play and the endless Tower of Sisyphus mode. Could we see something similar come to Saros? It feels a little too early to see what the third part of Guerrilla Games' Horizon trilogy is, but does feel like we should get another look at its latest spin-off, Horizon Hunter's Gathering, a 3-player co-op machine hunting action game with a decidedly more cartoonish art style than we're used to from Aloy's world. It will be interesting to see what form this multiplayer entry will take. Free to play? Full price? There's still plenty left to find out about it.
This is Hunter's Gathering.
As for other PlayStation studios, we still don't know what a lot of them are working on. It's fair to assume Polyphony is developing another Gran Turismo. And with it being over 4 years since the last, could we see Gran Turismo 8 pop up on the 2nd? 2027 marks 30 years for the series, so it seems like a nice time for another dose of sim racing action if you ask me. It's also been a long time since we've heard from Little Big Planet and Dreams creators Media Molecule, Days Gone developers Bend, and whatever is happening with Haven's Fair Games. We'll take hearing from any of those studios as a win.
Let's go.
And then there are the PS5 exclusives that are being made outside of Sony's first-party structure, such as Phantom Blade Zero. The S-Game-developed action game looks more impressive each and every time we see new gameplay, and we certainly wouldn't say no to another peek here. Set for a September 8th release, it certainly makes sense for it to show up here. Similarly, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls is due to launch on August 6th. Having undergone a couple of beta tests now, we've seen plenty of this fighting game in motion, with Savage Hulk and Shuri's Black Panther the most recently confirmed characters on its roster. There's always room for more heroes though, so maybe we'll get another addition at this state of play. Another PS5 exclusive, For Loop, also staged a recent beta, suggesting that maybe it isn't a million miles away from a release date either. The co-op shooter from J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot Studios, directed by Left 4 Dead's Mike Booth, will be looking to turn around Sony's multiplayer woes. We'll get this one out of the way. No, don't expect GTA 6 to show up here, but there are plenty of other multi-platform games that we've seen featured at previous PlayStation showcases that we'd love to see more of on June 2nd. Revealed in February, Saber Interactive's John Wick game was certainly a surprise. Some gameplay of this Keanu Reeves starring prequel to the movies would be a treat. At the same state of play, Konami's first mainline Castlevania game in 17 years was announced, with Castlevania Belmont's Curse returning to its 2D action roots. With a long PlayStation lineage tied to the series, we wouldn't be shocked to see it again. Two other games set to come out later in 2026, Control Resonant and Star Wars Galactic Racer, were also at that state of play and could make a reappearance. Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis is a remake of the original Lara Croft adventure, and seeing as how important that game was for the original PlayStation, a state of play would be a logical place for more of it to be shown off. Someone entirely not used to calling PlayStation home, though, is Master Chief. Halo Campaign Evolved is a remake of the first Halo single-player story and is coming to PS5. However, it would make a lot more sense to see this at Xbox's showcase, which will be held a few days later on June 7th. As if two Marvel games weren't enough, there's also a chance we'll see Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra, which has been indefinitely delayed beyond early 2026. If this really is Captain America and Black Panther in an Uncharted-like action-adventure from Amy Hennig, then a look at gameplay would be much welcome.
I don't have time for this.
Neither do I.
And then there's Project Windless, a new action-adventure game starring a sword-wielding 7-foot chicken from PUBG publishers Krafton. Look, now isn't the right time for me to fully go into the details of the nightmares I used to have as a child about being chased by a giant chicken man, but I won't lie to you. I'm both excited for and terrified of this game in equal measure. We're not expecting any new PlayStation consoles until late 2027 at the earliest, but with Xbox already teasing Project Helix, will that force Sony into giving us a sneak peek of what the PS6 may have in store for us? Well, it's unlikely due to the soaring costs of RAM globally and the general economic conditions being needlessly sent into disarray by American tariff policies and AI's impact on society, but I guess you really do never know. Rumors have been circulating of a new PlayStation handheld though, after suggestions were made in 2025 that Sony could even be following Nintendo's blueprint for the Switch and turning the PlayStation 6 into a hybrid home and portable console. Of course, this is all just wild speculation, but with powerful hardware only reducing in size and cloud capabilities ever growing, it doesn't feel like too much of a stretch to imagine. Whether we see something that physically resembles this speculation at June's State of Play is, again, unlikely, and something maybe for late this year, early next, maybe? So, that's everything to expect from June 2nd's PlayStation stream. There will, we hope, be plenty of surprises though. What game are you most excited to see more of? Let us know in the comments below. And for all things PlayStation, keep it here on IGN.